You can't be on time. All right, we have a quorum, so we're going to start the meeting. All right, Representative Welch, we've got 3 items on the agenda. We've got a House Study Committee resolution. We've got 2 Senate bills, and all of these have been vetted in subcommittee. Representative Welch, if you will present your House resolution for Study Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Ways and Means Committee. It's an honor to be before you. It's not often, but this is an esteemed body, and I'm glad to be here today. I have a very simple resolution, although I'm going to read it to you, so I brought a bottle of water. This study committee will look at how we're appraising local property taxes, the appraisal process, the appeals process, and the assessment process of real estate property taxation in Georgia. And it just sets up a study committee to look at this issue after we're out of session this year. If there are any questions about the resolution in particular, I'd be happy to address those.
Are there questions? What's the pleasure of the committee? Wait a minute, was there a question? Sam waves. Okay, quick question.
I've received both personally from colleagues in our body in the House concerns of the assessment process and the appeals process that are used at the county level for determining a proper assessment of real property values, and then both the assessment and that appeals process have been drawn into question by colleagues within the House. Also, this is an area that I practice in, so I have some firsthand knowledge of that process and some of the pitfalls that are in it, some of the positives and benefits of the process. In addition to that, we have had recent news related to Fulton County and the revaluation of properties that resulted there, and the sharp swings that we saw in assessments in Fulton County in particular. But that's not just Fulton County, so it's not to be singled out. It's to look at counties as a whole and across the state and reevaluate this process, the assessments, and then the appeal process.
Sam, a shorter answer would be that I asked Tim and Bert to look at it, and they need some help. David, did you have a question?
I just want to say thank you. I hope I'll get to participate on this committee, as many know that this has been a sticking point for years. It's costing taxpayers money. It's costing them legal fees to fight
There's nothing wrong with legal
unfair
fees.
system. So, thank you.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Moves on to rules.
Thank you.
SB 328, Senator Albers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to give a special thanks to Subcommittee Chairman Williamson and his committee for the great work we did on perfecting this bill. We studied several tax credits and exemptions and found that 3 of them did not make sense and provide the return on investment that we'd hoped to from the state, and those 3 would be removed, as well as we had found in working with our good friends, the Metro Atlanta Chamber and others, that we missed one area with the changes in the tax codes from the federal to the state, and we want to make sure that we do not penalize any of our businesses who are doing work internationally. In fact, we want to bring those funds and those jobs home. If there are no questions, I will yield.
Do you want to address the substitute, or would you want me to let Representative Williamson address that issue?
Yeah, I can certainly talk about the GILTI. I don't like the acronym of guilty. Part of our change, if you'll remember, in House Bill 918, aside from the great work we did to lower the income taxes for the state of Georgia, was also to do the annual bill to bring parity in between state and federal. And for some of our companies based here in Georgia, there is an impact in the goal of both the federal and now the state tax bills that have passed in order to repatriate funds and bring things back. In this case, what we're doing for Georgia is making sure that if they were taxed on the other side of the pond, if you will, or somewhere else, that we're not going to tax them again. We also don't want to set up a set of circumstances by which they may come through a third party or another state. There is considered in the fiscal note to be a fairly minimum impact of what could be as high as 26 to 30 million. However, we believe that to be much lower, as well as bringing that back will increase economic activity, which we believe is really the driver which keeps Georgia as the #1 place to do business.
All right, any questions regarding the original underlying bill or the substitute? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the committee? Motion and a second do pass. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It moves on to rules.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And we will probably turn these into the clerk's office just as soon as we adjourn this meeting, and you'll need to go up to the rules office and fill out a form.
I'm heading there right now. Thank
Okay.
you.
SB 458, Senator Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Currently, if you have land in a CUBA covenant when you reach the age of 65, if you breach the covenant, you have a reduced penalty. This bill provides that if you are a member of an LLC or a partnership and your land has been in the covenant for a minimum of 13 years and you breach the covenant, the penalty would be the same penalty that you would have if you were an individual. Now, currently in our state, there are some counties that interpret the law this way already and do give this reduced penalty to the members of the LLC or partnership, but we feel like this will just make the enforcement consistent around the state. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to attempt to answer them.
Are there questions? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the committee? There's a motion and a second do pass. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Passes on to rules. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.